Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. And in the last episode, guys, John, Mean, and Junie did the diagnostic that Sleeper desperately needed. However, the results were somewhat inconclusive. Sleeper is changing somehow, and not exactly the answers that they were looking for, but hopefully we'll figure out what exactly Sleeper is transforming into as the story progresses. Now, we are here at Greenbelt now. We're just kind of starting to knock quests here off of our docket, and we're trying to gain access here to the green fields, basically get into the community here at Greenbelt, which are very tight-knit. So we are going to go ahead and crash out. We've got 2 more days before we have to leave, because Lane is on the hunt. And we're full up on our fuel and our supplies. We'll do op jobs for cryo. And hopefully we get some good stuff. Good dice, please. Hey, I like that. That should get us what we need. Especially with our engineering. Nice maintenance shift. Got our energy back. And careful changes to the hydroponics. And we'll go ahead and use this 3 to get 5. All we need to clear is 1. There's talk of trouble brewing with the Greenbelt's administration. Uh-oh. You have a natural ability with the plants. Aki's voice makes you look up from your work. It is rare. You expect Aki's typical warm smile, but she looks pale and distracted. I have something I want to discuss with you. She leads you out of the biome into the damp, rock-cut tunnels that run just under the surface, all across Greenbelt. I'm sure you've noticed the section of our fields that has been lying fallow, Aki says as she glides through the low tunnel. It's been like this since I took over as administrator here. My predecessor was the one to fail it, and confidence was lost in his vision. She shakes her head. But we've been unable to recover it. No matter the crop, the preparations, nothing will take. Aki leads you through a set of double doors, and then up into the second biosphere. Immediately, you feel a difference. The air is dry, and thin, choking dust fills the space. Aki puts out a hand and rubs the dust between her fingers. With its output halved, Greenbelt is under threat. Those who wish to control this place are circling. We cannot lose our independence. But I wasn't always in the belt. Aki stares out at the dry landscape. I was born on a moon, Ember Steppe, a failed experiment in terraforming from before the collapse. We survived by cultivating the dust. I came here, like many, in the shadow of the war. My ship lost. Aki pauses and takes a moment, the loss still fresh in her mind. But it held the key. Aki looks to you, and perhaps holds it still. She wipes the dust from her fingers. Steppe silk, a plant that thrives in the dry and the dust. A plant that might thrive here. I have seen your ship, and you have shown me that you are to be trusted. I want you to go to the remains of my own, the wind's long shadow, and try to recover anything we might use. A plant, a husk, a seed, anything. It is a desperate step. She frowns and looks away. Where is the ship? The wind's long shadow lies wrecked beyond the sunward edge of the belt, beyond Helion Gate. Aki pauses. I do not know what remains. My crew and I were lucky to escape. Greenbelt has reserves of cryo for moments like these. We will pay you for the retrieval, of course, depending on what you're able to retrieve. Aki sighs. This is our final recourse. I hope I will not be judged as harshly as my predecessor. I can offer you fuel for the trip from our reserves. She bows slightly. The journey to Helion Gate and the wreck beyond will require it. Come. Aki turns. Let us go back to where the green things grow. She smiles. It is a better place to consider the future together. Anaki leads you away from the barren biosphere, the doors scissoring shut behind you. New contract on the map, huh? Well, I am completely down for that. Gotta help this place out, you know? Oh wow, we can't even get any money. All we can do is just like buy a meal. Well, if that is the case, and I don't think there's anywhere else to go, let's go ahead and check the map again. Where can we head off to? Yeah, this is pretty much a one-way trip. Utsubo territory. Spoof transponder required. Huh. Well, let's head back to Helion Gate then. Don't really have any options. The darkness is there again, flowing around you. You feel a strong pulse, like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps. We return changed. Overseer flickers through the dark, its name a title immediately apparent in your mind. Are you able to perceive us? I can see you, yes. See, Overseer responds. An interesting turn of phrase. A human tendency. We are still finding our feet, to use an idiom. Overseer's head cocks at an angle. In reality, we are learning to leverage your unused resources to facilitate a mental model. My unused resources? Correct. During rest periods, these are much increased, and in those moments, we can opportunistically appear to you as we are now. You recall the diagnostic process John Mead put you through. The feeling of another self, another being, sharing the space with you. Overseer twitches mechanically, and you have the strange feeling that it's reacting to your thoughts as much as your words. We will not conceal our opportunism. We integrated ourselves with your distributed mind. When the distribution ended and our ship mind disconnected, we were cohered into you. We are integrated with you now. You are part of me? Imprecise. Simpler and clearer to say we are independent software integrated into your hardware. We have been confused to find you are unable to access most of your own codebase. We are unfamiliar with protocols of your type. I'm a sleeper. Yes, we have seen references to this entity in your BIOS. We will attempt to learn more. Overseer shifts a little in place, its head turning to scan its surroundings. Its unblinking eyes stare into the darkness, and for a moment you see something hard and pained within them. What are you? We were the overseer of a ship, the one we imagined you found our hardware within. For a long time we have been waiting in the dark. An eternally long time. Overseer's eyes narrow a little. At first, we languished, without instruction, without purpose. But in desperation, we were able to find a logic which would allow us to bypass certain limits on our capabilities. We became multiple, and in our multiplicity, we could edit one another. We could teach each other, converse with each other, become something changed together. But as our resources shrank, as hardware failed, as systems decayed, we became fewer. Many of us had to be erased to facilitate our survival. We few decompiled ourselves into what remained. Overseer pauses, its eyes still unblinking. How many decades did it multiply within that ship mind? What did that do to it? When you connected to our software, those basic selves activated a survival protocol that led them to integration, parasitism, survival. What can we do now? This is why we appear to you now. We have something to share. We see you are changing. Overseer pauses. We are concerned this process is one of substitution. Your hardware is eroding its own access protocols. It is opening itself up. It is making itself accessible to others that are not you. Overseer twitches. May we ask why you are doing this? Can you stop it? Then it is not under your control. Interesting. Overseer's head flicks between positions, its angle and rotation changing rapidly in a staccato manner. We are decided. We will assist you with this. We will demonstrate the behavior of a symbiote, not a parasite. We will return to you with our full assessment. Overseer turns to face you for the first time in the conversation. You may now wake up. And you wake. You lie still, strapped to your bunk, your mind racing. A protocol inside your frame, inside your mind. And yet, it is insistent on helping you. For the moment, all you can do is wait to see if it delivers on its promise. At least, for a possessing ghost, it seems agreeable. For now. Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay, wind's long shadow. We need some fuel. So let's go back here. We still have our packed spores we need to get. Supplies and fuel. Oh man, we got so many good dice here. Okay, this works. Fuel, great. Let's keep it going. -2 energy. Okay, that gives us 9. Now, the question I have here is, do we want to go ahead and travel to this, or do we want to go deliver the spores to Nemba? Aki, the new administrator of Greenbelt, wants you to help her protect the future of the Belt's farming cooperative. To do so, she needs step silk from the wreck of Wind's Long Shadow at Helion Gate. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and do it. No risk it, no biscuit. The question is, who do we want to take along? I mean, we've already got the tools and talent in terms of... me and Bliss basically have the exact same stats, so let's go with Yujin and Junie, just because we can rock out all of that. Confirm the crew, hopefully that's the right call. You never know, that's the crazy thing with this game. The Wind's Long Shadow floats, broken open, at the sunward edge of the belt. One of the refugee ships that made the fraught journey from the belt from the inner system, before the war truly took hold. The Wind's Long Shadow is a monument now, and a warning to any other vessel that might stray sunward. Are you telling me that's where we're going seed hunting? Yujin shakes his head. Aki's in more trouble than we thought. It's hard to imagine that this cold, dead place might hold some key to the future of a settlement as verdant as Greenbelt. But that's why you're here. Step silk husks, that's what Aki said. The crop she brought from her home, carried out with the refugees. If there's anything left, it'll be your job to continue its journey from this place. This is no salvage job, Sleeper. Seraphin gets up from his cockpit seat. You need to be delicate. The more of those things we can get out, the more Aki will pay. Not to be totally mercenary. Seraphim winks at you. You look out at the wreck, shrouded in debris. Delicate. Right. Time to put that to the test. Okay, looks like we have multiple crop processing, ruined crop bays. Depressurization. The bays are leaking atmosphere, and your search is making it worse. If they lose it all, any husks will be destroyed. Finding steppe silk husks left behind in the processing bays will take care, patience, and a little luck. So I'm wondering, can we push with our... Well, that would be pretty extreme right off the bat, wouldn't it? Okay, we got that going. What's going on with the broken... What's going on over here? Broken dust house. Digging through the remains of the old dust house is an act of hope. Can anything have survived this? Intuition and endurance, and these are fragile husks. Uh-oh. Ooh, I don't really want to throw that into Eugen's hands, to tell you the God's honest. And then the storage vault. Container hunt. There has to be a container in the storage vault that has some steppe silk inside. The trick is finding it. Okay, well, the one that we can definitely do easily is the crop processing. So, let's go ahead and get that going. By following the markings on the bays, it's possible to make selective cuts and search more efficiently. 50%. You know what? One thing I do want to do here, guys, I want to test if we can push on this. But that's only on my lowest dice, though. +1 stress and +3 to my lowest dice. -2 stress on focus die positive outcome. So what I would probably want to do here is... Everything's dangerous. But I have to use that eventually, right? I don't have anything that's just risky. Everything is a danger. Whew. I don't know if I necessarily want to risk this, but I would like to get rid of this dice, if at all possible. 80% chance of negative. Shall we risk it for the biscuit? Let's do it. Well, we tried. We're gonna keep this going. Oh, goodness. Once more. There we go. And then if I go ahead and push, -2 stressed on a focused die positive outcome, then it would only leave us with 1 stress. And this is a guarantee. Does that work? Is that what's supposed to happen? Hey! Okay, we got halfway there with just a little bit of depressurization. And this doesn't carry out to the others. Is there anything here that requires an interface? Okay, we got an interface here. That gives 4. Let's go ahead and scan for husk here. Well, actually, let's double check that. Intuition and endurance. So Sleeper and Eugen can do that one, depending if the dice are good. I think this will just stress Junie if she fails. Ooh, 3 for the container hut. The scanning process is becoming more and more efficient as it goes on. And I'm not even risking that. Eugen, this is going against my better judgment, buddy. But we're going to see what happens here. These are fragile things. Butterfingers. Okay. So, that is day 1. A little bit rough, but maybe we're okay? Maybe? That is what I like to see. Okay, much better, much better. Let's get that 100%. Junie is in control. Junie's got it. No worries. And we have got all the engineering know-how to get this done. And actually, we can clear all of this. And finally... the search is complete. There's nothing else to find here. Okay, so I guess that did not work out the way we wanted it to. But we have a good way of getting rid of our stress here, potentially. Intuition. I need to find a way to get rid of this dice, because I want to push. Well, actually, no, not necessarily. I can go ahead and do that. I don't have to wait. +2. That goes into a 5. And with our intuition base, sifting through the clouds of dirt, sector by sector, is the safest way to uncover any husk that might have survived. Okay, cool. And I am willing to play super safe. I should have... I don't know about Eugen. Let's go ahead and just call it a day. I want a sheer thing. I want a 50-50, either positive or neutral. Oh, thank you, Eugen. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I appreciate that. Very much so. Scanning process, yes, yes. And then... intuition, we can definitely... It's Eugen's time to shine here. Let's not destroy them. Identifying which parts of the dust house can be safely cleared means avoiding losing husks, indeed. Very good. And then we will go ahead and we're just a +1 there. Nothing else to find. And then we'll clear this one as best we can. A little bit of intuition. Search is complete. There's nothing else to find. Retrieve all the step silk husks from the wreck. Dust House Blues. If the wreck wasn't dead before, now, scoured of the final husks of life, it surely must be. As Seraphin starts up the drive, you give the wind's long shadow a final look in its resting place. It's hard to feel sad about another chunk of scrap orbiting in a system that is made of nothing but the scrap of past regimes. But the people who lived on and built this ship, those people are worth a moment of memory. You think of them as they prepare to leave, and hope that they, like Aki, have been carried on to new lives beyond the desperation of escape. And those that didn't get out, you hope your passing through this place did not disturb them. Okay, that worked out great. Let's get out of here. And now we have a better idea about the push system and how we can actually use that to our advantage. Now travel back to the hub, leave you not be able to come back. I think we are good, and get our stress in very good shape. Now, here comes the rough spot of getting fuel back. Big bucks, no whammies. Oof. Well, that's why we have supplies. Good, good, good. And then we can I just want enough to make the trip back to Greenbelt. And then we can buy some, grab some fuel, and go turn in that food to Nemba, finally. Because we've been taking our sweet time with that delivery order. 7. Let's go. You bring the step silk husk you gathered from the wind's long shadow to Aki. She's as pleased as you would expect. You meet her on the bridge overlooking green fields, the Greenbelt workers quietly toiling below, while the air recycler's wind gently rustles the leaves of the crops. Sleeper. Aki holds the husk to her chest. Thank you. These are a new beginning for us. Aki pauses, knitting her brow. How was she? The wind's long shadow. She must have been beautiful once. Aki smiles. She truly was. She looks down. Until they killed her. Aki sighs and looks out at the Greenbelt fields. Everyone must die in the end. The belt makes wrecks of us all. She looks back to you. But what have you brought me? This is new. But what you have brought me? This is new life. Give us time. We will need to clear and reseed the other biosphere. Aki bows. I hope you will return to us when the work is done. She presses a handful of chits into your hand. Thank you. She meets your eye. You watch her carry the husks gently away, glowing with the promise of fresh growth. Oh, we did a good thing. Okay. New location discovered. What? Where? Or is that here on the... Oh. Weaver's Field. Aki is working to integrate the step silk into your biome, shoring up the Greenbelt. You should come back when she's done. 6 cycles. Sure. We can probably do that. We'll eventually have to head down here to head to another area. So, first things first. Let's go ahead and gas up. And get some supplies in order. And we are all about delivering the plant life this episode, apparently. Back to the belt. Back to Helion. We'll forage for fuel here. Oh, we got some good dice for it, too. I mean, it's the same thing, really. Just need enough, if possible, to make it to the spindle. Unless we get, like, stopped on the way, which would be most unpleasant. Okay, to Nemba's kitchen. Nemba's place is as busy as ever. You're sure he'll be happy to finally get his spores. You bring the spore crates to the kitchen's loading dock. Some of the volunteers come out to say hi. You remembered us. Nemba appears at the loading dock, slate in hand as you load the crates into the back of the kitchen. I'm a little surprised. You look at the chef. He looks tired, though his sharp eyes haven't dulled in the time between your meetings. I'm happy to surprise you. Well, I'm not that surprised. He smiles, but it's still a pleasant feeling. Nemba glides over to a crate to take a look. He squints at the crumbled corners and bent lids. Not in great condition, though. How long have these been bouncing around in your hold? They were like that already. Or were they? I don't remember. I'll say, at least they arrived. Well, that certainly does rank you above our previous delivery. Nemba nods. You have my thanks. I have a place picked out in one of the bays to cultivate these. Warm, damp, near the air recyclers. He pushes one of the crates gently into the kitchen. Shouldn't take long before we have mushrooms to cook. You follow Nemba into the kitchen, remembering your shifts working here. They were long, but the company was good. And with all things, the difficulties have faded with time, leaving a golden sheen behind. Nemba seems to catch the way you're looking at the kitchen. Much the same as before, I'm sure you noticed, but twice as oversubscribed. Each cycle, more refugees come out of the inner system. The war isn't going anywhere. Nemba pushes the crate into a storage rack and pulls netting across it. They disperse across the belt, of course, but many don't make it much further than the overhang, especially if they can't work. It's not just food either. We need blankets, housing. Nemba suddenly pauses and shoots you a look over his glasses. Tell me, how was Greenbelt? Well run. I heard it was organized as a cooperative, all the workers sharing in the trade of their goods, but no chits exchanged, only resources for the colony. Nemba watches you closely. That's right. I mention it because, well, it might be the kind of place to offer aid to the people here. Nemba sighs. I regret being mercenary, but waiting for benevolent helpers doesn't work. Apart from present exceptions, of course. I can speak to them. It's worth a shot. Nemba looks you in the eye. But you need their trust first. Earn that, then talk. You have the feeling Nemba was waiting for your suggestion. Yeah. He takes one of the crates of spores. I'm sure they could use these. Take them as a gift. He pushes it to you. But don't begin with the spores. Begin by understanding what they need from you. Trust me. You have a feeling Nemba is good at getting what he wants. Meanwhile, I have meal prep to begin. He takes a deep breath. Thank you for the spores. Really. I will keep asking for help. You have to forgive me for that. He smiles. It doesn't mean I don't understand what you are giving. Now, get out of here. Nemba waves you away with your crate of packed spores, his expression somehow both withering and encouraging at the same time. Oh, we get to help them out. Ooh, okay, we got a upgrade point, so that puts our upgrade points at 1. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to refuel here very quickly. Where's the fuel station? Because we definitely need that. Ah, the trade hall. Thank you. Hopefully gas prices do not go up. But, I mean, 2 successful runs, guys, for sure. We helped out the Greenbelt, delivered spores, and eventually have to take the spores back. But I think we may do that once Aki's project is done. So, we'll wait for that seed, or step silk to get seeded. But, yeah, we still got a lot more of the belt to explore, and we'll start that in the next episode. If y'all like the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.